Oh, this is the part where I should be playing the Star Wars theme, but, you know, Disney. So instead, I'm going to hum it. Dun 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 dun. Okay, we're done here. Alright, it's a period of civil war. A new Star Wars movie has come out, and the fans rejoice. But there's turmoil among the skeptics and naysayers. Pursued by the skeptics' sinister agents, Chime races to defend its honor and talk about its glory. He usually awakens to give his Geekly weekly news. Joining up with the resistance of fans, though, he focuses on the new movie. But in the normalcy of his news, he has vowed to have zero fluff. Deciding to take evasive maneuvers, he comes up with a solution. He decides to give a hearty review and discussion, heavily laced with spoilers, be warned. Welcome to the first ever Geekly Weekly Reviews. So, anyone gonna unfreeze me? So, so, there I am. Alright. Welcome to the first ever WKROC Right on Chime Geekly Weekly Reviews. Today we switch up our usual news because most of the news this week is Star Wars related anyway. And we're going to turn this into something with a slight bit more fluff than usual. This is Chime, taking Star Wars, movies, games, merchandise, and news from across the board. Live on Twitch and then not so live on YouTube. Forewarning, and I mean this, a lot of spoilers ahead. Like, tons. If you haven't seen the movie yet, this is probably a bad idea to go beyond this point. Spoilers abound, here be tons of spoilers. If you haven't seen the new movie, you should have a bad feeling about this. Spoilers. Alright, is everyone good? Good. Alright, so let's start by talking about some of the games that have come out recently. Battlefront is one of the big ones right now on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and PC. Battlefront's just recently got its Battle of Jakku DLC, which is going to be awesome. I'm going to be getting an Xbox One here this coming up week. I'll be playing that a lot more, probably coming into the new year. We'll be reviewing it and talking about it a lot more later on. So we'll move on from there. One of my favorites that I've been playing recently is actually the game Star Wars Uprising. You can see right, where am I? Here, right about here. But this is actually my character here, and it's actually a pretty fun little game. It plays a lot like a Diablo kind of RPG. You give your character outfit. You gotta, make your outfits better, find more outfits, maybe even change it up some. But besides all of that, you end up having a bunch of little missions, mini missions that take place, and then you finish the mission, you get your rewards. You have followers that are part of your crew. You can actually have a whole cartel, which allows you to team up with friends and allows you to do a lot of different things. It's a pretty addicting little game. If you haven't played it, it's on Android and it's on iOS. And give it a shot, it's good. Mobile games besides that, they've been putting out things like the Galaxy of Heroes. There's a trading card little game. It's more of just, for collecting the trading cards. But those are really about it. And then, of course, there's Commander. Commander's pretty cool. It plays a lot like a Clash of Clans kind of thing. All good stuff. Disney's doing the good thing at this point. But speaking of mobile, Star Wars actually put out a Google Cardboard. You can see them actually behind me here. Let's pull one out. I'll show you. It's actually pretty good stuff. The Google Cardboards here are actually good quality, from what I can tell. We're gonna fold it out here. I have one already opened. You can see that I actually have all four. There was a stormtrooper. It's a first order stormtrooper. If you look here. Awesome. You just put your phone right into it and it plays out pretty good. It's got a little button in here. It's a true Google Cardboard, and I'm happy that I got my hands on all four. You can see the R2D2 here, Kylo Ren, and of course the BB-8. Go, BB-8. You'll notice I do happen to have an extra R2D2. I'm actually going to do probably a little giveaway or contest. Got to make it a little bit more difficult. I'll come up with something here probably in the next week, and then do the extra R2 that I've got, Google Cardboard, as a giveaway. Keep an eye out for that on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on my blog, any of the things that you may follow. I'll probably talk about it next time I am on Geekly Weekly News. Let's put these guys back, though. He's got me. Alright. Alright. So let's talk about the reason why we're here, the movie. Some of the good news that just happened as of this broadcast. The movie has actually officially clocked a record-breaking $248 million for the opening weekend, which actually beat the previous record holder that only had $208 million. This actually brings it well above 500. I think it was $512 million worldwide, and it hasn't even opened in India until I think it's about 3 days from now. And China opens in January, and that's actually one of the bigger markets out there. They're expecting to pass the billion mark very, very quickly. As for my own personal reviews, I actually love the humor in the movie. It was very quick. I like the little quips that the characters have, and the banter between characters like Chewie and Han had some really good bantering between them. The action was a huge, huge one for me. They really kind of took out the politics that the prequels force fed you, and just brought in just good storytelling. Just to, and give you the action, throw you into it right from the bat. At the very beginning of the movie, the town gets attacked by, the little village gets attacked by Kylo Ren and the First Order, and they just come in, and it's a big battle just right at the very beginning. And that's just how you start it. It was great. One thing that it did have was a lot of nostalgia factor, something that a lot of the movies nowadays are really trying to focus on. Trying to bring back, too much nostalgia, can be really bad. But so far, it's really actually, they did well. They handled it well. When we have little callbacks to the old movies, they're subtle, and sometimes they're in your face. They really are. There's a scene where Han asks Finn if there's a garbage compactor on the Starkiller base, and you're just like, oh, okay, I get it. That was a joke. And throw her into the garbage compactor. That's pretty cool. That's funny. But then there's little jokes that the real hardcore fans tend to go, oh, that's good. If I were to really, really rank it, of course, Empire's going to be my number one. Empire Strikes Back is always going to be my top. It would be hard to beat that. And same with A New Hope, right below that. But I will actually say, I actually rank this just slightly above Return of the Jedi as my number 3 out of 7, of course. And that's a big deal, because if you're really trying to talk about it, we've always been dealing with, we have the original trilogy that was that sky high, unattainable. There was no way the prequels were ever going to stack up to any of the originals. And then there was the prequels, which are down here. And I can honestly put The Force Awakens within my top three, which is so cool. Uh, so uh, this is actually a nice little picture here. There we go. This is a picture that I took actually at the movie theater. Just part of the crowd. This is the front of the crowd that was in front of us. Behind us, you couldn't actually see the end of the line because it went all the way outside. It was awesome. They were filling theaters. They were sold out. But then again, everyone was. Um, One thing that made me laugh when I walked into a Best Buy the next day, the there we go. There was this digital movie all ready to go because we saw it on the 17th, the night before at 7 p.m. So the 18th was the official premiere. This year, there we go. So we've got the digital movie, and then it gives you three posters. So that's actually not a horrible deal if you're the type that you like just getting digital movies anyway, because you actually get it's like an 11 by 17 a set of posters, and it ties to the Disney Anywhere and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. For $25, I thought that was a good deal. Figure I let anyone that's a big fan really know about it. Besides all of that, just some points of interest within the movie. The Finn and Ray being the two main characters, they were really setting them up to be the love interests, which obviously it's going to take a while, and I think that by episode 9, it's just going to be a Han and Leia moment where they're just, completely flirting by then. But then there's Poe in the mix, and Poe is probably my favorite character. Him and Finn has this like great little bromance going on throughout the whole movie. He ends up getting the jacket when he thought that Poe was dead. Poe named him technically because he's FN 2187, and that it was kind of a big thing because Finn's kind of coming in as someone who only knows the military aspect of life, but then Poe just adds to the humor, and Poe just here I actually have I preemptively bought a Pop Funko because I had a feeling he'd end up being one of my favorites, and he was. I'm glad. I actually made a good decision. Say hi. Hi. Okay. So then there's Kylo Ren, who I don't know if I like him. He's actually probably out of villains. He's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to warm up to him a little more. He's kind of a whiny bitch. But then again, so is his uncle Luke, and so is his grandpa. They were all kind of whiny bitches, at least at the beginning. So I'm kind of hoping that Kylo comes in as it builds up to be a lot more likable as a villain. Vader has that great, everyone respects him. He's the ultimate villain within the universe because everyone fears Darth Vader. Kylo Ren is still in the infancy. He's in episode 2 Anakin mode at this point. He doesn't like sand, kind of thing. But I'm hoping that the whole Han Solo death thing, that was supposed to be the big surprise, but everyone expected Han to die. Then again, they expected it back in '83 with the original movies. Harrison Ford and George not, agreeing on whether Han should die or not by episode 6. But everyone expected it, and it was a big to-do for the movie, but really, it was really expected. But I'm kind of hoping that helps Kylo Ren lean more towards the dark side, and he stops being a whiny little bitch. I'm going to throw a temper tantrum and slice up the panels. Whoop-de-doo. Force choke someone at this point. One other tidbit that I did notice: Leia not using the Force, but she's Force sensitive. it I'd like to see some backstory on why Leia chose not to use the Force or get trained as a Jedi under Luke. There had to be a lot of, I mean, there had to be easily a decade where Leia could have gone, hey, I know how to become a Jedi. I'm going to train under, and learn the Force and learn all of this. And it seems like she didn't. She there's no hint of any lightsaber. There's no hint of anything. In the comics, they actually had her and Han and Chewie all use lightsabers because of an EMP that meant blasters couldn't work, which was a very cool moment in the comics recently, but they never brought that concept back in. Um, but Luke having the reveal at the end was actually really nice. They did so well. Um, Most of my theories about Luke seemed to be about right. Most people are like, "Oh, Kylo Ren is Luke." No, I already could tell that Luke and Kylo were going to be two separate people, and that Luke went to the light and Kylo didn't. Now, the big reveal of Kylo being Han's son was actually pretty cool, though. That one I was one of my own personal theories, but I didn't know how they were gonna do it. But Ben Solo, that works. That works. One of the best little parts was at the very end with its BB-8 talking to R2, and R2 wakes up. He's got the map. He knows how to find his master, Luke. It was a big moment in the movie, and they handled it very well. One of the big theories, though, is who is Snoke, the head of the First Order. Now, personally, if they do it right, I think that they could actually bring in Darth Plagueis, the Wise. That would actually be really cool. That's one of the theories that I've been seeing online. Everyone's been saying, "Oh, he can't be Snoke. He doesn't look like the Plagueis from the novels." Well, the novels that Plagueis was introduced in officially are now not canon, so Disney can do whatever they want. If it's not Ben Skywalker anymore, it's Ben Solo, and Jason Solo being the son that went to the dark side in the comics and in the books and all of that. That actually, they changed that, so what's wrong with making Darth Plagueis the Wise not a moon uh, race? Have him be someone who actually survived all these years because of whatever Palpatine did to him, and that would be really cool, especially since Kylo calls Plagueis wise at least twice in the movie. Little subtle hints. Apparently, one of the things I was also reading is the theme that they played when Snoke was around is very, very, very close to the uh, music that plays when Palpatine talks to Anakin in Episode 3 about Darth Plagueis the Wise and what happened to him. He could cheat death, and have that be as a true prequel to this movie. That would actually be awesome. I'd be great with that. That's really my only real topics and thoughts on the movie, though, and I wanted to give a good little 20-minute thought and review. But I liked it. I loved it. It was great. It was everything I could ever hope for out of a Star Wars movie. They handled the CGI very well when they had to use it. Maz Kanata and the monsters that were on Han's ship. There were some things that they had to do CGI, and that's understandable. But the practical effects were very well done. The cameos were classy. My favorite cameo would have to be the one where it's the stormtrooper that Rey force tricks that she uses a Jedi mind trick on, and it works. And the stormtrooper that she does it on is actually James Bond himself, Daniel Craig, and that was actually pretty cool. We had a bunch of different cameos. We had uh, Simon Pegg was an alien. One of the coolest ones was during Ray's vision. They actually revealed just yesterday that Yoda actually spoke. Frank Oz himself recorded dialogue for that Force vision. So a little mini cameo. And they also had Ewan McGregor speak to Ray. And when you hear Ray, this is your first step, he's the one that actually says this is the first step. So you had Obi-Wan actually have a presence in the movie. But the best part was the fact that they actually got Sir Alec Guinness, he passed away years ago, the original Obi-Wan Kenobi. They got him to, or what they did is they took a word that he used in the original movies, afraid, and they cut it down and turned it into the word Ray. So when you hear Ray, this is your first step, you actually hear two different Obi-Wans speaking that. And those little mini cameos like that really add to the nuance of the movie and really bring an extra layer of depth and how much they put into the thought of the movie. And they just couldn't have done any better. They did so well. But either way, this is probably where I'm going to end it here. If you are sticking around live, I have a unboxing. I have the Loot Crate that came in today for December. I'll be unboxing, and I afterwards will be gaming. I'll probably play some Shadow Complex. But either way, thank you for taking the time to watch the first ever WKROC Right on Chime Geekly Weekly Reviews Star Wars Edition. Otherwise, have a great night, folks. Chime on.